Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dmitry Davidov. I'm Bitrix24 Chief Marketing Officer, and today we are going to be talking about new Bitrix24 features available to you inside your CRM, and specifically sales intelligence and CRM analytics. I will be talking about how Bitrix24 CRM can automatically calculate ROI for your various advertising campaigns. This is really important. You know, there is a very famous saying that every marketer and advertising professional knows. I know that I'm wasting half of my advertising budget. I just don't know which half it is. Well, today we are going to be talking about how to identify which half of your ad budget you might be wasting. But let's start with numbers. These are industry studies for the United States, but I'm sure that many parts of the world, the numbers are very similar. The really sad truth is that 80% of companies still do not use all of the client data that they have for sales and marketing efforts. In fact, 2/3 of the companies, and of course these are mostly smaller businesses, do not have a formal sales funnel. Perhaps unsurprisingly, only 22% of sales managers report that they are happy with their sales. The sad truth is that 1 in 3 deals fall through simply because communications were done with a person who is not qualified to make the buying decision. They simply do not have this role in the company, so the time is wasted. Another sad statistics is only 1 in 4 sales reps analyzed the real reason why the deal was lost. They're just happy knowing that they closed the deal successfully, or they know that they failed to close the deal, but they do not know the real reason why. And because only 39% of all companies have a sales process formally in writing, this happens. Because if you do have a formalized sales process, then one of the first qualification steps is to verify that the person that you're talking to via phone or email or you're meeting with has the role in the company to make the purchasing decision. So if only CEO can make the decision, then there is no point talking to his or her secretary or personal assistant. If CTO is the only person to qualify, to be able to make qualified decisions, which software or solution to purchase, then you need to be talking to CTO and you need to make sure that you can get to him or her. This is another problem that's far too frequent, is that even though a company or a sales department does indeed have a CRM system, they are not using it to the fullest extent. In fact, sales reps keep their records in Excel or in various note-taking applications, or maybe even their smartphone. So I'm going to make a case why you need to actually use the CRM that you have, not just have a CRM, but use the CRM system, the CRM solution that you have in your organization. If you actually use your CRM, then on average you see 38% growth in deals that are closed successfully, 55% growth in revenue, and 65% growth in the number of sales reps who are meeting their sales quotas. This is really important. So let's talk about sales targets, sales plan, sales quotas. There are different names for what is essentially the same thing. And it may sound complicated, you know, how do I make my quota? How do I make my sales? You know, because sales targets in many industries are very aggressive. But if you think about it, it's actually a very simple idea. So the total sales volume, there are only 2 ways how you can increase it. You can either sell more to new clients, or you can sell more to your existing client base. And in many industries, you have to do both. So if you want to increase your total sales volume from your new client base, there are actually only 3 ways how to do it effectively. You can either increase the number of leads that you're bringing in, so more new clients, or you can increase the conversion rate for those leads. So you convert the same number of people might be showing interest in your product or service, but you are converting them to paying clients at a better rate. Finally, you can increase your average deal amount and grow your total sales volume this way. And if we talk about making more money from your existing client base, you can either grow the existing client base, or you can increase the number of repeat sales, or again, you can upsell more effectively and increase the average deal amount for your existing client base. Of course, there are also other factors like churn rate and lifetime value. But this is the simple idea to show you that if you want to meet your sales target, and this is the screenshot of sales target feature that is available to commercial Bitrix24 users. You can set targets for departments or individual salespeople. Really, you need to be concentrating on 2 things: new customers and your existing client base. So let's talk about a hypothetical situation that is very, very real for many businesses. You need to get more sales. How do you do that? So the head of the sales department, he just looked at his new sales target for the new year, and he or she understands that in order to meet the new quota, they need more leads. So he or she goes to the marketing department and says, hey, we need more leads, give me more leads. Then the marketing department head scratches his or her head and decides, well, if I'm going to need more leads, then the easiest way to do this is to buy more online advertising. And there are various avenues where you can go to buy ads online, but here are the most popular channels. You can buy AdWords, you can use Facebook ads or Instagram. So these 3 are fine for my example. And as you invest more in online advertising, you generally get more leads, and wow, miracle happens, sales are growing. So the sales department and the marketing department, they both get excited. They decide, hey, if it works so well, let's get even more leads. And at this point, they actually know how much each lead costs based on the channel. So in our example, it's $20 per lead for Google AdWords and $40 for one Instagram lead. But then something strange usually happens. The sales start to flatline or fall. So how is it possible that you're spending more money on online ads, but you're not generating more sales? Something is wrong. So in order to identify the problem, the head of the sales department and the marketing department get together, they crunch numbers in Excel spreadsheets, maybe they analyze their call logs, and 3 days later, they find something interesting, that not all leads are created equal. And for example, the cheapest lead source converts at the worst rate. So in our example, it's Google AdWords. And this is when you understand that you really need to have sales intelligence inside your CRM. You need analytics. You need to understand what's going on, because you do not want to be spending 3 days crunching numbers in Excel. So before, I was just giving you hypothetical examples and situations to better explain what many businesses are facing. And this is the actual tool inside Bitrix24 CRM that helps you solve this problem. It's called Sales Intelligence. We've released it in beta this summer, and at this point it is available to all commercial Bitrix24 users, and even free users can get sales intelligence data for the first 1,000 leads or deals. So in this screenshot, you see that each lead source is tracked. So this is how it works. Bitrix24 has API, and so do Facebook and Google AdWords. Once you enter their API keys inside Bitrix24 CRM, our CRM knows exactly how much money you've spent on, let's say, Google Ads. We also know how much traffic was generated and how much of that traffic converted into leads, how much into deals, and if those deals were closed successfully. Of course, Bitrix24 CRM knows the total amount for those deals, and this is how we can calculate ROI both for your all advertising efforts and for individual channels. So basically, we take the ad spend, we take the total sales volume, divide one by another, and calculate ROI. And by the way, ROI stands for return on investment for each advertising campaign that you're currently running. This is really, really critically important because you want to be advertising in channels and ad campaigns that have the best ROI. Most likely your ad budget is limited, so you can spend the same $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000 on crappy traffic sources or great ones, and you need to understand which traffic sources work for you, and you actually need to understand the actual ROI number, if you're wasting your money or if you're making money with online ads. This report is really super easy to understand. So the source is identified, the total costs are identified, the actions brought from this traffic source, views, clicks, deals, won deals, conversion rate are listed on the screenshot, and the total profit amount, which is defined as the total for the closed deals that are closed successfully. Another great benefit for using sales intelligence in Bitrix24 is that you actually understand the performance of each sales manager by the lead source. So this is a very typical situation when there is a civil war going on between marketing department and sales department. Marketing department says, hey, I'm bringing all those leads, and the sales department, they just don't know how to sell. They can't convert worth of crap, those great leads that we're bringing in. And then the sales department says, hey, we're actually great at sales, but this crappy marketing department, they are bringing us leads that are not qualified. Those aren't real leads. So it's all their fault. So when you use sales intelligence, you can see the performance of each of your sales representatives. And then you can see, okay, so if every single sales agent except one successfully convert leads from Facebook, then the problem lies with that sales rep who converts the worst. But if you have 5 reps, all of them have great conversion rates, but then you have a source that nobody can convert, that the problem is with the source and with marketing department. So that's really, really good to have and understand, not just how successful each of your sales agent is overall, but how successful they are with various sources of leads and traffic. And so far I've talked about online advertising channels. Bitrix24 Sales Intelligence works with offline marketing channels as well. So these are exhibitions, trade shows, handing out flyers, podcast sponsorships, newspaper ads, radio ads, TV ads. Basically, if you run advertising campaign and you can identify the results of this campaign by, let's say, secret word or coupon code or any other identifier like different phone numbers, we'll be talking about call tracking later on. You can enter the total amount spent on the campaign manually. We will record this information in our CRM, and of course, using the identifier, we will identify the leads from that source specifically and the total amount that they brought in, and we will calculate ROI for the offline marketing channels as well. So how does it work? It's not magic, it's actually quite simple. So a person sees or hears or reads your ad. Usually it's online in Facebook or Instagram or Google. These are by far the most popular. Also search engine optimization, organic sources, they work here as well. And then the person who sees your ad is likely to perform one of those actions. They can visit your site, they can call the phone number, they can fill out a website form or Facebook lead ad form or something of that nature. They can chat with your agent online, or they can make a purchase. This information is recorded in our CRM and then crunched through the analytical engine. So in order to make this work, you need to connect channels that are relevant to your business. So most typically, and these are all connected in Contact Center. We do have a number of videos how to do that in our YouTube channel. Typically, people connect email, typically people connect their telephony, and also website form and live chat widget. For many, many businesses, social networks and mobile messengers are also very relevant, so you can connect those as well. And very importantly, because Bitrix24 stores the entire client history inside CRM, you will be able to click any lead or any deal and understand how this person learned about you originally, whether they came from a phone call or an email or your Facebook page or Google AdWords campaign. This is all recorded. Another great tool that allows you to easily identify your marketing campaign and lead source is called call tracking. We've had call tracking for a while. It's available to all Bitrix24 users. And basically, you assign a phone number to a lead source or an advertising campaign. So for example, in the good old days, when people were doing lots of newspaper advertising, people would buy ads in 50 different newspapers, and in each advertising piece, they would list a different phone number. And this is how they knew that people who called this number, they were from the New York Times, and people who called that number, they were from the Chicago Tribune, and people who called from that number were from San Francisco Chronicle. So the same technology still works, but is now more applicable to digital advertising channels. So in Bitrix24, when people see your ad in Facebook and they click that ad and they are transferred to your website, they will see one phone number that is dedicated to Facebook. And if a person enters a search query in Google and then they click that ad, they still land on your website, but they will be displayed a different phone number that is assigned to Google. And this way, when you look at your call statistics, you're easily able to understand the source of that particular lead or client. This is very important because now you have a sales funnel. You understand each sales process step, and you can compare sales funnels for different advertising sources. You now understand, okay, this is my sales funnel for Facebook, this is my sales funnel for email inquiries, this is my sales funnel for trade shows, and conversion rates for different stages of the sales funnel will be different for various advertising sources. I can guarantee you. And this is where I want to talk about why you need to have a formalized sales process and why you need to have a really good understanding about your sales pipeline and sales funnel. So, and this statistics is for the B2B sales, not for B2C. B2B stands for business to business, business to customers. B2C is a little bit different, but generally speaking, if you're selling goods or services to B2B, at least 5 touches are required. And touches anything like a phone call or an email or when customer interacts with your ad. So this is called a touch. So you need to remind your prospect at least 5 times about you and your services before they're ready to take an action. The problem is that half of all sales managers give up after the first call or email with a no. Typically you offer your service, you talk on the phone, the person says no, you say, okay, all right, I'm not going to deal with them anymore. This is really, really terrible, because even when people say no to you, you should continue touching those prospects. So obviously, you should not be calling tomorrow and offering your service again. But if you email reminders once a month, for example, or if you set a retargeting ad campaign in Facebook, or if you touch them in any other way, this has proven to be tremendously effective. So when you have a formalized sales funnel and you have your statistics, you're actually able to identify so-called leaks. Those are the stages where you lose your customers. And if you want to fight with your leaks successfully, you need to be using sales automation. I'm sure that many of you who are watching this webinar are already using sales automation. These has been available in our CRM for all commercial users for, I think for the past 2 or 3 years. So essentially, almost everything can be automated in Bitrix24 CRM. So if you send an email and person clicks a link, this can act as a trigger for something. For example, you can send an alert to call this person because they just read your presentation, or you can schedule a webinar automatically to that person, or you can send a follow-up email. Same thing when something not happens. The person who doesn't read through your emails or who didn't purchase for over 6 months, this can act as a trigger as well. There's lots and lots of rules and triggers in our CRM, and we keep adding new ones, and we do have videos about that specifically. So this statistics is from one of our partners who have done automation for their clients. So 2 salespeople who were doing about 400 sales to new clients a month, and their conversion rate was pretty good, 7%. The partner configured 47 different rules and triggers inside CRM, still same 2 sales reps and almost 600 new clients. This is really, really good. The conversion rate jumped from 7% to 12%. This is because lots of things that used to fall through the cracks are now automated, excuse me. And you have to understand that 47 rules and triggers doesn't mean that each person goes through 47 of those actions. It's just if-then logic. Those rules and triggers are activated at various points to move the person along the sales funnel or to return them back to the sales funnel. So we have these 4 great tools that help you meet your sales quotas and increase your sales volume. I've talked about sales funnel. We also have sales tunnels, and sales tunnels are sales funnels that are automatically connected together. So let me give you an example that you can easily understand. Let's say you are a web studio and you make websites. So you have a sales funnel for this process. You have incoming inquiry by the person who wants to create a new website or maybe redesign an existing one. You go through the stages and you successfully close the deal and create a new website for that person. But you also offer search engine optimization service. This is a totally different pipeline. In Bitrix24, as soon as the the website is created, you can automatically start offering this client your search engine optimization services. And you can also offer them pay-per-click advertising or social media management. So typically businesses, they have multiple profit centers. You can make money on product sales, you can make money on after sales service, you can make money on consulting, you can make money on selling parts, and sales tunnels is this is the tool that is tremendously effective to make more money from a single client, because in many industries you make profit on your second, third, fourth, or subsequent sales. So sales funnels are great here. I've already talked about rules and triggers, and we will be talking about repeat sales generator, sales boost in Bitrix24 later on. So in our CRM, we have three critical types of reports. I'm switching to CRM analytical module that is available to our commercial users. So first, you have activities reports for your sales managers. At a glance, you see how many phone calls they've made, how many emails they've sent out, how many office visits they've made, how many meetings, how many presentations, how many webinars. This is really important to understand who's doing what. Because when you have the statistics, you can actually see the connection between the number of your activities and your total sales at the end of the month. So the more webinars you do, the higher your sales are, or the more phone calls you make, cold calls, for example, the higher your sales are. The second type of reports that you have is the number of deals in progress at different stages. And finally, the favorite report is how many quotes you've sent out, how many invoices were issued, how many of those invoices you're paid, and your total sales volume for a given period. So this is the CRM analytics module and an example of report that is available to you. And very, very importantly, you can create custom reports very, very easily. Okay, so we've talked about generating new clients, but let's talk about retaining customers, because it's critically important to your bottom line as well. Most companies, unsurprisingly, think that they're great at providing customer service, but the sad truth is that most people, customers, both people and businesses that decide to stop buying from you, they do this because they feel lack of attention. Only 16% of customers switch to another vendor because they found better price, better offer, better conditions. So it's critically important to retain your customers. And in order to do this, we have a tool called CRM marketing. It allows you to easily cut your existing customer base into various segments, contact them via different channels. Typically it's email or text messaging. You can run different campaigns and it works very, very well. Email marketing, by our statistics, this is 80% of CRM marketing is done via email marketing. I'm sure you are familiar with this interface. Again, any commercial Bitrix24 plan comes, with CRM marketing module. SMS campaign is tremendously effective at retaining customer base. I can speak about this from my personal example. There is one hamburger place that I really, really like. I typically order delivery from them several times a month. If I don't order anything from them for over 2 weeks, I get a text message with a coupon code that expires usually within the next 3 days. And this is how they bring me back in. They just remind me, hey, we exist, we know you love our hamburgers, here's the coupon if you order within the next 72 hours. And this can be fully automated in Bitrix24 CRM. This is very common for salons, for barbershops, for dentists, for beauty salons, many, many, many examples where email marketing and SMS text messaging is very effective at bringing your existing customers back in. And another hugely popular tool is retargeting ads in Facebook and Google AdWords. The typical scenario is, I've talked about segments. Our CRM creates both manual and static and dynamic segments. Dynamic segment is the one that updates automatically on its own. So an example of a dynamic segment is a list of all customers who haven't purchased anything from you within the past 3 months or 6 months. You define this on your own. And then the system automatically adds those emails and phone numbers to retargeting lists on Facebook and Google, and those people who didn't purchase anything from you for a long period of time, they see your ads. As soon as they order, they are removed from the retargeting list. This is done automatically inside Bitrix24 CRM. So these are the 4 great tools that we have inside our CRM to help you meet your sales targets. So back to the question, which half of your advertising budget are you wasting? You waste absolutely nothing if you use Bitrix24 CRM Analytics and Sales Intelligence module. Again, this was a more of a conceptual presentation. I want to make sure that you guys that know that those capabilities are indeed available to you inside Bitrix24 CRM on selected Bitrix24 commercial plans. If you want all of those features, they are available, all of them, on Bitrix24 professional plans. Some features are available on lower plans, but I would highly recommend you that you go to our website, to the partner section, bitrix24.com/partners, and schedule a demo with a partner about tools that are specific to you. When contacting a partner, make sure you let them know in advance your specific needs. Typically, a partner needs to know how many people you have in your sales department, what you sell, your sales life cycle, average deal amount, your total budget for this project, and you will be able to increase your sales and meet your sales quotas with Bitrix24. Thank you very much for attending the webinar, and bye-bye.